Welcome to Blowing Solutions Wide Open, where we're talking about all things spiritual, as well as creating new systems in the area of healthcare, finance, government, education, new environmental practices, and anything that helps the planet or helps humanity. My name is Addie Halkin. If you think that you have ideas or things to share in any of those areas, please feel free to email me at blowingsolutionswideopen@gmail.com, or you could type the word guest in the comment section of this video, and I'd be happy to get back with you and potentially have you come on here and share with people what you know. Also, please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content or you have an interest in getting alternative information out to more people. So today I really just want to take a few moments to really kind of give a shout out to the whistleblowers on this planet. There have been thousands and thousands of whistleblowers throughout the year, so I couldn't possibly say all of those, nor do I know all of them. But I wanted to just kind of read off a short little list of people that are just really impressing me right now that I really appreciate. One of those people is his name is Terrence Howard. I've mentioned him before. I feel like the worst person who could ever possibly try to explain this guy. He's very scientific. I don't understand a lot of the wording that he talks about, but the thing is that I can feel what this guy is doing, and he is blowing, the whistle on misinformation around our mathematical system in this country. And as a result, he's been able to invent something called tangential flight. And he's also working on technology that helps clean up our atmosphere, as well as possibly repair our DNA and all kinds of things. And this just comes from him being really tapped into the spiritual laws of the universe. And he's kind of like what a lot of people consider to be the modern day Tesla. And so this is somebody that, has not had it easy in a lot of ways, and I really appreciate what he's doing. Another person that I want to kind of really recognize in this is his name is Ed McCabe. And honestly, this is somebody that I feel like most people don't know about. It's kind of a shame because he did some incredible things in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. He basically uncovered a lot of the corruption in our medical industry. In our healthcare system. The way in which he did this is he exposed the effectiveness of oxygen and ozone therapies, and exposed the fact that about 95% of disease is caused from lack of oxygen in the cell and in the bloodstream. And this is something that other countries have very much embraced. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. But our medical system is just that corrupt, and it's just suppressed when it comes to this information. Also, a lot of this oxygen ozone information he put out there really showed how the lack of oxygen in our bodies is often a result of disruption of our ecosystem. So, for example, the many poisons that are put into our air intentionally and in our water and in our food supply and things like that. And so he was definitely ahead of his time. I do believe in like 2003, I think it was, he was thrown in prison for some bogus reason. It's basically he was a threat to the establishments that made a lot of money. But from that point on, I barely really see anything about him. I think I found like one interview of him in 2007. But it's almost like he was gagged at that point. Prior to going into prison, he had written two books. One of them is called Flood Your Body with Oxygen by Ed McCabe. It's an old book, but it's a very worthy book around health and how to use the actual ecosystems of this planet and the things that our ecosystems produce to, possibly heal some really big stuff. I mean, um, you know, lack of oxygen in the cell is responsible for the biggest money-making illnesses in the industry. So, this is not information to glaze over. It's big stuff, and I cannot for the life of me understand how it's still being so suppressed. So, not to mention, a lot of what Ed McCabe exposed in what he was doing is that, some of the best cleaners on the planet are those that contain high amounts of oxygen. So anyhow, I'd love to see him reemerge, but he was a great whistleblower. Another one group, I should say, that I'd like to kind of recognize here is some of the Kennedy family. They've been known for exposing governmental corruption. We all know with John F. Kennedy, if you were paying attention to his speeches, he was in the process of exposing the Federal Reserve and exposing secret societies, and he was just not having it. He was not going along with the establishment. He had no intention of playing the game. And as a result, he lost his life. I mean, if you're still believing what the news reported in regards to why JFK died, I don't know what to tell you. It was definitely an inside job. And so, you know, one of those amazing whistleblowers. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also very similar to that. He has been exposing corruption his whole career. And he has not had it easy. And so I really appreciate what he's done. His own political party kicked him out, which is what they do. Basically, you don't get to be a presidential candidate or anyone in any kind of high position when it comes to our government if you are not easily corruptible. So that should tell you what you need to know when it comes to Robert F. Kennedy. Sorry, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Anyway, moving on here, Stephen Greer, Greer. I think he's probably the most obvious as far as those exposing, and whistleblowing around, all this stuff in the sky and with aliens and ETs and, UFOs and all these things. He's also exposed a lot about the PSYOP drone diversion, which is a lot of what we're seeing in the sky right now, where, the government has drones and they're trying to distract and create fear and all these things. The other thing that he's been really good about exposing is the illegal secret government. That's that government that you don't see on TV. It's kind of the underbelly of the government, and it's basically the corrupt government that really is running the show. And so, hats off to him. He's been doing it since the 90s. I don't know how he's still here, but it is awesome to have somebody like that. And the last final person I want to talk about is very near and dear to my heart. This is somebody that's been out there for the last 4 or 5 years. Her name's Allie Carter. I think she's in her early 30s. Her story is that she was trafficked from 3 months old on until sometime in her teenage years. I'm not clear on how she got out of it, but what I do know is that she has, oh my gosh, the amount of information she has come out with. Around people on this planet that have been involved in the child trafficking, also trafficking in general, but particularly child trafficking. It's a very long list. It's very heavy around, public figures, not just celebrities, politicians, on and on. She's exposed how there's underground towns, underground tunnels that they hook up to things like schools that kids go to, cemeteries, celebrity homes, politicians' homes, you name it. The thing about Allie is that she makes no money off of giving this information out. She's very intentional about that. She's on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if she's anywhere else, but she could easily profit off this because she's got large followings, but she does not want to. And I respect that a lot. She doesn't feel people should be profiting off these things. And so the other thing is that, her stories are horrific. I mean, they are horrible. This girl's lived a horrible life. And she, to this day, cannot really stay in the same place for very long because she is a super big target. She is, exposing big high dollar stuff that has been kind of hidden from all of us for a long time. And I think she's about ready to blow the roof off of all of it. This planet's been run like a mafia. I've said it before, and this is probably the worst of it. And so I just couldn't be more respectful of this girl. And the thing is that if you look at this whole list, they've all been called crazy. The mainstream media has tried to disprove all these people, and they have not lived easy lives. When it comes to having a life of a whistleblower, it can be very hard. But I think that right now is the best time we've ever had in regards to whistleblowers, because there's so many of them coming out now that the powers that be cannot keep up with them anymore. And so, if you're somebody that's sitting on some information, of course you have to kind of gauge it for yourself and your own safety. But I don't know of a better time than now to really come out with stuff. Um, it takes a courageous soul, and I hope that we can all stop um kind of putting these people down. Because if you think about it, how many times has someone been a whistleblower in the past? And taken a lot of heat. I mean, even back to the Lincoln era, you know, it's happened so much where somebody's been a whistleblower and they've been condemned and treated like garbage for it, only 2 years later, often when they're not even alive anymore, be vindicated because society finally caught up with them. And so I've really caught on to this. I think a lot of us have. And so, whenever get that mainstream media or these search engines are really slamming someone and trying to make them look crazy, I hone in more on that person now because I understand the patterns now. Another thing that I just want to talk about real quick is when I punched all these names into Google and Bing, the misinformation was so abundant about them, and the lack of information was incredible. In fact, I punched in the name Nicholas Tesla, just because I know that he used to be a really big whistleblower, and he was a huge threat to a lot of industries. And I know that he lost his life as a result of it. And when I punched in his name into Bing, my computer started acting weird and it would only bring up a picture of him. I couldn't even get information on him. That's how bad Google and Bing has gotten, which is a real shame because Google and Bing used to be awesome. But, it's clear that the most popular places that people go to get their news, which is mainstream media and our search engines, have just become rampant with lies at this point. So I don't know. I just want to talk about how incredible these whistleblowers are. And I hope that we can all start, being more kind to them because it takes a lot of courage to do that. So, anyway, if you want to whistleblow, email me at blowingsolutionswideopen@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care, guys.